Ba, 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 da, da, ba, ba. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Charles. Charles O'Neill. Where's my tea at? I'm checking out Original Gangster. Listen, this is some interesting stuff I found in this book, man. Listen, they are talking about maybe Easy E might have been misdiagnosed with the with the HIV. I keep saying the hive, the HIV. Let's check this out in the in the book called Original Gangsters by Ben Westhoff. And I'm gonna come back to my reaction. Hit that thumbs up button.
A number of my sources for this book insisted he'd been treated by a bogus, unqualified doctor. I did some checking into Eazy's attending physician, William Young, who died in 2004.
William Young.
According to his Los Angeles Times obituary, he was a longtime pulmonary and critical care specialist at Cedars-Sinai. A prominent doctor in the black community, his patients included politicians and celebrities, and he founded a nonprofit dedicated to helping low-income people live healthier lifestyles. His record had one notable blemish. In 2002, he was disciplined in writing by the Medical Board of California for repeated negligence in prescribing for a patient while failing to provide proper documentation and renewing the prescription for years without evaluating the patient. Apart from this, what amounted to a slap on the wrist, he seemed well qualified to treat Eazy. Still, speculation that something fishy occurred in the lead-up to Eazy's death has persisted. His sister, many ruthless artists, and some of his friends do not accept that Eazy died of AIDS. They note that none of his children and none of the mothers of his children have come forward saying they have the virus themselves. But this, said author Gabriel Rotello, isn't all that strange. He said people with the virus often don't spread it to their sexual partners or even to their offspring. HIV is the hardest to transmit of all sexually transmitted diseases, he added.
So how did Easy get it then? Because you know he was having sex with at least 5 to 6 different women that were carrying that were his, a lot of them women that carried his kids, they were still sleeping with him.
Others note suspiciously that while Eazy moved quickly from HIV positive to full-blown AIDS and died right away, others have been able to live long lives with the disease, like Magic Johnson, who was diagnosed with HIV in 1991. Johnson's wealth and prominence, of course, afforded him access to treatments that were then rare, drug cocktails that have since turned HIV into a chronic condition, like diabetes, rather than an automatic death sentence. But Eazy was rich too.
Right.
In the Straight Outta Compton film, he's portrayed as running low on money near the end of his life. But everyone I consulted said this was not true. Eazy may have been living with
Eazy had paper. He was getting paid from the chronic. And the chronic, come on, man.
HIV for a long time without realizing it, which is common. Many people with the virus have no symptoms and appear healthy. In 2015, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported that more than 150,000 Americans didn't know they had HIV, about 13% of the total. It's possible that Eazy's transition from HIV to AIDS only seemed fast. The average latency period for untreated HIV, when the individual is infected but isn't showing symptoms, is about 10 years, which means Eazy could have been infected well before he was famous. For those whose HIV progresses into AIDS, they can expect to survive an average of 3 years in the absence of treatment. Eazy's sister Patricia Wright doubts he had AIDS because he would always go get checked every 6 weeks, she said.
Really?
Jerry Heller said Eazy had a physical with a Beverly Hills doctor in July 1994 and was given a clean bill of health.
Whoa.
Indeed, if Eazy got tested regularly for STDs, something should have come up.
Right.
But HIV screening wasn't then a common component of physicals. Eazy's son, Eric Wright Jr., posited a wild theory in an Instagram post in 2015, not long after the Straight Outta Compton film's release. Wright indicated in the post that, if his father died of AIDS, it may have been the result of a purposeful injection. Eazy did not get sick until after the studio incident with Suge, he posited. He also pointed to the infamous 2003 Suge Knight interview on Jimmy Kimmel Live, where Suge discussed a new murder tactic.
That thumbs up button, guys. This is getting really crazy. This is interesting, ain't it? This is really interesting. I've always thought that because I mean, but I guess it's they said he could have had it way before he even got famous. But it's still just mean that guy had that blemish where that William Young, the doctor who gave him the diagnosis that he had HIV. I don't know, man. This is
Tactic in which the assailant gets blood from somebody with AIDS and they inject you with it. Suge called it the Eazy-E thing. It's an intriguing theory that Suge might have injected Eazy with AIDS
oh, that's
some 4 years before he died, but raises many questions.
yeah,
Where would Suge have gotten the tainted blood?
exactly.
Why would he choose this murder method instead of another?
Hmm.
And even if he had injected Eazy, would Eazy have remained silent about it? It all seems extremely unlikely.
Right.
Ice Cube didn't accuse Suge, but when I interviewed him, he was unwilling to discount conspiracy theories about his friend's death. I can't say they're crazy because I don't know for sure.
Mm.
I don't know for sure how he contracted that, he said. As a journalist, I thrive on this sort of intrigue. Reporters often build their careers on dispelling accepted narratives, but none of these theories add up.
Right.
I've talked to numerous doctors and experts about the chain of events leading to Eazy's death on March 26, 1995, and none thinks them especially out of the ordinary.
Mm.
Eazy was buried in a Whittier cemetery in his Compton hat, Pendleton, and jeans, lowered in a golden coffin. DJ Yella, the only NWA member who'd never fallen out with Eazy, and the only one to attend the funeral, served as pallbearer. The memorial service featured a giant photo of Eazy in his Lokes. People drove great distances to pay their respects, and thousands of mourners lined up for blocks to watch his coffin pass.
Mm.
Compton Mayor Omar Bradley, who'd once dressed down Eazy for his lyrics, declared Eazy-E Day in Compton. One female attendee's shirt read, "AIDS is ruthless, so take it easy."
Mm.
In the parking lot, Bone Thugs member Wishbone was apoplectic. "My nigga ain't dead," he sobbed. "And if anybody says he is, we fightin'." Though Eazy's gravestone and most obituaries list his birth year as 1963, that is likely not accurate.
Mm.
The funeral program gave his birth year as 1964, as do most official court documents. That would make him only 30 at his death,
Wow.
rather than 31, as was widely reported. Total chaos.
Wow, man. So, his daughter did a documentary about Easy possibly not dying from HIV. That he may have died from some type of infection. I think he might have been this misdiagnosed because he died when 1995. They really didn't like AIDS was starting to get popular around the late 80s, like 88, 89. I'm trying to think. Magic Johnson got diagnosed. I was in middle school when he got diagnosed. I think that was like back in '92. Yeah, that was in '92 when he got diagnosed. And then 2 years later, Easy. I just think that I mean, I don't know. That's crazy how you can get it, but you can't give it out. You would think if you can't give it out, that you shouldn't have got it, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like you can contract it, but you can't. So I guess they said it may have laid dormant in him for 10 years. So that means if he died in '95, he might contract it in '85. But the fact that he was just sleeping with different women, that especially because this is before he got famous. So you already know once he got famous, he was laying them down, not using the condom. He was already laying them down, probably, little hood chicks, little dope. He was a dope boy. Women gonna drop them draws when you're a dope boy. You got paper. You dressing more fly, you wearing jewelry that the average guy can't afford. So you're gonna attract women anyway when you got dope money. But when you famous and you know, worldwide known, he was not, and they was going from city to city. So he was sleeping with women that he probably didn't get pregnant, that he probably didn't get, what I'm saying, didn't affect. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure somebody would have came out, hey, trying to sue to the state. I didn't, you never heard none of that. Like, oh, when Easy was, when NWA was when they came to Seattle in 1989 or 1989, 1990 doing their tour, I slept with Eazy and he gave me that stuff. I want some money. You know what I'm saying? People didn't come out. Nobody came out. So it's like I'm thinking he got misdiagnosed, man. I don't know. What y'all think? Leave your comments and subscribe to Charles and Ned's World. Appreciate it.
Looking for a professional photographer for your next big event? Need video of your special day? Then look no further. For $100 an hour, have a professional photographer or videographer shoot your wedding, birthday party, quinceañera, bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, anniversary party, or whatever your special occasion may be. Highlight your event with professional, crisp photos and video. Check out Charles Arness Photography on Instagram, as well as book us for your next event. Must live in the Southern California area.